Okay, so we just went over these two lists of conferences here, XR conferences, one from Cognitive 3D, and that link will be in the Slack channel, and then one from dev.events, where you can organize by different technology, different topics, and even different locations, which is really cool. So lots to choose from there. All right. And now we're looking at Scope AR, which uses WorkLink software. So I'll share the demo links in the chat or on Slack. You do have to download WorkLink to check them out, but let's jump into it.
To perform this procedure, you will need a standard blade or Robertson screwdriver and a 15-amp single-pole replacement circuit breaker.
So what I thought was really cool about this is you can actually use this on a desktop like this on this application, or you can use it on a device. And if you have this device that it's mapped to, if you have that on your in front of you, like say you're a field worker and you're working with this circuit breaker and you have the device in front of you, you can actually map this training to it. It's not really a true spatial recognition, or it's not really truly recognizing the device itself like automatically, but there's a really short process that you go through that will you line up some boxes, on your mobile device. You're using the mobile device camera. You point it at this device and it lines up like some boxes. And these animations and stuff will play on your mobile device as though you are looking at what we see here. So you can scroll in, scroll out, move around it. And that's, clicking and dragging on the desktop with the mouse. But when you have the device in front of you and you're using mobile device camera to do this truly like mobile AR, you can walk around the device and it will kind of follow you once you've kind of mapped the corners and stuff of the device in front of you. So I thought this was really, really impressive.
The stack has come back to FYI, so it's a little bit. I can understand what you're saying. Just it's a little garbled, so it might show up in the recording. But I understood basically what you were saying about this being able to map this device. That sounds cool.
You know what I think it probably is then? It's probably WorkLink, the software. Might be using up a little bit too much of my CPU to screen share on spatial and be doing this. Yeah.
That could be. I bet you. What, you want to stop screen sharing for a minute and see just what happens to your audio?
Yeah, maybe we'll see if it works out. All right, I stopped sharing. Can you guys hear me any better?
Keep talking. Keep talking.
So we talked about some conferences. We talked about Scope AR.
Much better, Tristia. I mean, now the audio is clear. So it's something about you screen sharing that particular WorkLink thing that is maybe interfering.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So I don't know what else you're gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. There's always something technical. Was that different than a normal screen share?
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Do you think it has to do with the environment somehow?
I'm really not sure. I wonder if it's what is coming through spatial. I wonder if it's what's just coming through spatial. Maybe it's too much for spatial to handle the transmit that much going on at once. I'm not sure. That's odd. I don't know that that's happened to us before. Yeah. Well, I will try to. I will try to take. I'll try to screen share it. I'll have to think about how I might be able to do it otherwise, but might be able to join as a second time on my phone, but I want you guys to be able to see it. So, whoops. Let me bring it up again, and then I'm just gonna try not to talk so much.
Well, I mean, how can we understand if you don't talk?
Oh no, I think visually it's so intuitive. I really think you guys will just get a kick out of just seeing it anyway.
Okay.
But
all right.
Let me see. All right.
We'll let you know how it sounds, just in case. It could just be that connection. I mean, you might just try it again. Maybe it'll work this next time.
Yeah, we'll see. You can let me know. Okay, so we're back.
Tell us about.
So this is step 1. You can see the main menu here. I can't click that, so I'm not sure. Oh.
To perform this procedure, you will need a standard blade or Robertson screwdriver and a 15 amp single pole replacement circuit breaker.
I think they could have been done better with the text-to-speech audio. we have much better than that now. But you get the gist anyway. So I'm going to go to the next
step. Turn all
step.
Circuit breakers to the off position.
So it's showing that animation.
Before beginning any electrical work, ensure main power is switched off and locked out. Checklist items required.
So here's a little quiz interaction. Kind of. I mean, you could build it out as a quiz. I guess it's not really quite a quiz. It's kind of verifying, the perspective is that somebody has this device in front of them and they've completed these steps, and now they're verifying that they've completed these steps.
Use the standard blade screwdriver to remove the panel cover screws, then remove the cover panel as shown, rotating it around the indicated hinge points, then lifting.
So what I saw was these animations and visual objects are very much like if you put an object on a storyline timeline and adjusted it. It was very similar to that, with like in and out animations, little pulses. It was like its own little object on the timeline. Those little kind of round pulses there, and they have a bunch of different built-in styles that you can use. You would add a color pulse to an object, and you can add motion paths to things and rotate images or rotate animations to things. Very a lot comes out of the box, which I thought was really nice.
Using the screwdriver, loosen the screw securing the wire to the faulty breaker and pull the wire downwards to remove.
So another neat feature was this kind of close-up video of the animation. So it is literally the same animation. If you've ever worked with Unity, you'll recognize this, where there's just a camera placed down here to show this perspective in this little window here. So there's 2 cameras in the scene. One is me, which is like a movable camera. I have the ability to move that camera around to change the viewpoint. And then the other is the camera that's looking at just that critical piece of the animation there. And it just goes on repeat. It's just set to repeat. And then you can add a video object within a scene like this. If you want to show someone doing it live. Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yes, good.
Okay.
Rotate the front top of the breaker down and outwards to release the upper clamp, then pull sharply on the breaker to release the lower clamp.
So again, kind of the same thing. That animation just runs on repeat. And then again, another video clip here showing the real life action. So when I imagine seeing this like overlaid onto an actual device, that's where I feel like that's the field support that I see people really needing from this kind of training. And just maybe not even training, but more like performance support. Like, oh man, I haven't dealt with this particular equipment model in the field for like 2 years. I really could use a refresher on like what are the right components that I need to manipulate for this job. Because working in energy, I can tell you that there are all manners of devices, and for them to memorize each one and how each one works differently from the next, and some were installed 10 years ago, and then they started using a different model 4 years ago, and there's an even newer model that some of them are using now that's just a year old, and they all might kind of perform similar functions, but look and behave and require different expertise. So that's something that is very overwhelming to me about their job, and I'm sure it's a lot for those folks in the field.
Checklist items incomplete.
So this is another feature. You can have them capture a photo with their device. I'm just gonna hit take photo. I don't know what it's taking a photo of. Might have been my thumb over my webcam. I don't know.
Push the lower clamp of the new breaker firmly onto the seating rod as shown, then rotate until the upper clamp locks into place.
Again, another video clip there, just showing a different type of animation there. And one thing that I thought was really neat about this, and something that I haven't seen in this kind of tool before, is that you can essentially copy a timeline of animations and reverse it, like with a single click. So for something like this, I can just imagine the amount of development time it would save when you have to go through the process of like opening a device and then doing something and then closing the device. Even just that one thing, instead of having to develop it twice, you develop it once and then you just reverse the animation. To me, that was just a genius feature. So kudos to Scope AR on that.
Place the wire in the new circuit breaker's connector, then use the screwdriver to tighten the screw, securing the wire.
So essentially, this is the reverse of that other one that we saw. Same animation, just copy, pasted, one button click.
Use the standard blade screwdriver to remove the panel cover screws, then remove the cover panel as shown, rotating it around the indicated hinge points, then lifting.
So it sounds like what they made a little boo-boo there, where they copy and pasted this scene and they reversed the visual, but they didn't replace the audio. I don't know if you guys caught that, but he was talking about taking it off again, not putting it back on.
So Tristia, when people are watching this, are they watching it on their mobile phone, or is it in a headset? Do you know?
So should be. I think it's capable to see it in headset. It's capable to do this all on desktop, but they can. But ideally, it's developed for being used on a mobile device. So they would be looking at this on their mobile device. The way that we see it now, it would just be touchscreen. If they were on a mobile device without the device in front of them. Now, if they had this circuit breaker in front of them, they would map the application. They would map this program they would have an option where, they could use their camera to look at this device in front of them and have it kind of identify it. And it would replace the image of the device and just show the animations that go on top.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really much more of a true XR experience then.
Yeah, much more immersive, like especially if you're dealing with equipment like in person and you have a mobile device that you can access this truly augmented experience on. I think that would just be phenomenal performance support.
Sure would.
So I'm going to exit out this one and see if there's anything else, because I actually, that was the one I think we looked at before. Genetic analyzer, that sounds intense. Huh. Okay, so this is kind of more of a little tour. Tap an area for more detail. Oh, it just closed that. Maybe. So that was an interesting design choice. I'm not sure that I would put those animations there like that in something like this unless I wanted some kind of action to happen there. So to me, that says click here. Those little like kind of circle animations that are coming up. I would want to click on that, but I guess I can't. Oh, there's a little video there. Whoop, too much. Tap oven lock for demonstration. Huh. There you go. That's curious. Okay. So yeah, I think that's all for that one. Maybe there's other pieces here. So let's try flushing the water trap. Okay, so this one, I guess they decided to forego the bad text-to-speech, which is fine by me. So, okay. Fill the syringe. Oh, it wants me to click on the syringe to fill it. Okay. So I wonder how that experience would be different on a mobile device. That would be interesting to see, like how, like what do you expect them to do there? So this is completely separate from that other device there. Caution, do not use the syringe smaller. Okay. Attach syringe. So it wants me to click there. So that makes sense. Like now, that circle animation indicates that there's something I should do there. Showing which way to turn it. Tap to open the lure fitting by grasping the body of the fitting. Okay. So a little bit more instruction here. Hold an empty tube under. So like I would want to like click and drag, or like, I don't know, try maybe if I were on a mobile device, like tap and hold and then drag or something. But it just wants me to tap on it or click on it. Okay, so big caution there. Now it wants me to hit next. Tap on it again, push it through. 30 seconds to flush 5 milliliters of water. So that's a very long time to take for that little amount of water. So I guess you need to do this extremely slowly. So it wants me to tap again. Again, this is another opportunity that I would see, possibly on the mobile device it would be different, but I would want to like tap, hold, and like move it around rather than just tapping alone. And I'm not sure if that's like how this particular example was programmed, or maybe it's not an option. I'm not sure about that. Based on what I've seen, it seems like there should be an option to do different types of interactions and not just limited to taps. Like I feel like I should be able to like, I guess drag something around. But I'm not sure about that. All right, that was that. I'm just curious. I'm going to open up one more real quick just to see what else is in here. But after this, yeah, I will put all the links in Slack, and you guys are welcome to play around with them. Download WorkLink and check it out and play around on your own. Definitely some really good training examples of very technical training for mobile AR. And even headset AR. I think they said that it works with HTC Vive, and I can't remember what else they said that they are capable of or compatible with yet. I remember he said HTC Vive, and I'm not sure what else. But I'll also put Scope AR's website and Anthony's full name in the chat. So if you guys are ever curious, you're more than welcome to reach out to him. He's really, really nice guy, and I'm sure he would love to answer any questions on this stuff.
Tristia, do you know from a development standpoint, is this like a no-code solution or what?
It is, yeah. It's I believe it's no code. It may be low code, so like mostly no code, but I think it's fully no code actually. So it does have like a library of assets you can use that are built in. You can upload your own 3D models and assets and 3D animations and things. There's like a set built in like stock animations and tools and shapes and different things you can add. And like I said, it's almost like when you see the timeline of a storyline file, and you can drop things in on that timeline, adjust their size and placement. You can add exit and entrance animations. You can add motion paths, and connect different components. You can change the environment. Like there's definitely, it's a very robust tool, and in you can use these different arrows. That's almost like they're like the previous and next arrows in a story project. And then add like different shapes and things for and text boxes and all kinds of stuff. You can add in like question slides, basically. And they're more like scenes that you connect together. We just took a really quick peek at the development tool, but yeah, I wonder if I'll dig around and see if I can find anything more on like what the development tool looks like and what it's capable of. But there should probably be something on their website about it. It definitely it looks like there's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's more like if you're familiar with Storyline, I feel like this would be a pretty quick pickup versus like trying to learn something like Unity. And the capabilities are huge.
Mm-hmm. Do they have a lot of other competitors? I mean, I'm sure there's some, but are there?
So I think there are other competitors, but I haven't seen anybody doing something this in like robust, I guess. In my
Yeah.
experience, most of the tools that are like this are, I am more like Zapper, which is less interactive and less like I guess with Zapper you can map to surfaces and things, but you can't really like map to my knowledge, you can't map to an object that has a certain like specific size ratio. Like if you have to have like with the one that we saw with the circuit breaker there, you would have to like the object that you're trying to map to would have to be at least similar in size and shape. And with something like Zapper, I think you just like you're kind of limited to working with just like a flat surface
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
nothing
I
like
feel like
midair.
I I recently was at an AR VR demo, and I think they were using the HoloLens development tool, and they
Yeah.
had something similar to this. Where I mean, and of course, I think that's a very expensive alternative. Well, I don't know how these guys compare, um, but that was the only other time I've seen something like this, where it's like here's a whole animation, and we map it onto a real live object for training.
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
not
like a
sure
lot.
about
It's got a lot of
HoloLens.
potential.
It
Hmm.
it totally does. I'm not sure about HoloLens. I know that HoloLens has its own headsets out there on the market.
Yeah, that's
And
what it was. You had to use that headset, and then if you had the headset, then obviously you bought the development tool, and then you could develop these really full-blown, very nice, similar to this sort of thing. That was more like um, I want to say it was more like an overlay. It's,
yeah.
it wasn't a full illustration of the thing. I'm sure you could put them in, but the way the demo I saw was like you have a physical object in front of you, and here's the way it steps you through the training. So it was more of a complete XR experience.
Huh, that's curious. I didn't know that HoloLens had its own development tool. That's really that'd
Yeah, I
be
hope I
totally
hope
worth
I'm not
checking out.
misquoting. And that's what I remember them
No,
saying
there's
that they used.
there's so much
So
going on. I can't keep track of it all, but yeah, I mean
yeah,
I would love to check it out and be I'd be curious just to see what other
yeah,
people are doing. This is
hmm,
by far one of the most impressive that I've seen, especially knowing that like you can use it in so many formats. Like if you can access that on scope AR stuff, you can access on a browser, you can access on a headset, you can access on a mobile device. I feel like it's just very accessible, being in so many
yeah.
different
That's
formats. And that's what, even though like the type of headset that you can use is very limited, but because more widely used consumer products are capable vehicles for it, it feels more accessible to me
Yeah,
than,
I agree with you. I think that's actually really important because when I think back to that HoloLens demonstration, it was a large company that was demonstrating. It was all for enterprise customers, and they had dedicated locations for training set up so people could come in, put on the HoloGlass lenses, and then the HoloLenses, and then do their training with the actual physical object that was the right size and all that stuff. So it was it wasn't like, hey, do this on a desktop in your remote location. So maybe that was the limitation of it, that it was meant for a total XR experience and not the other stuff. So this might be the bridge in between those two, to make it available to like everybody else, right?
yeah, totally. And those solutions sometimes like the experience might feel a little more polished and like it definitely feels more high end sometimes, that like the ones that I've seen that are like that, like there's a whole training center dedicated to it, and they've got a whole like fleet of headsets that people can use, and it's usually a very high end, like very polished, very expensive experience. And
Yeah.
that, I mean, is awesome to see that. But on the other hand, there's very few companies that either can afford it or are willing to put that kind of dough down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, man, I don't know about you, but it is hard enough getting people to invest in like 360 video right now.
No, actually, yeah. Most companies are still like, hey, 2D, flat screen,
Yep.
animated characters. That works for us. So I'm like, I
Yep.
don't know.
That's my
I'm
bread and
waiting for the
butter.
prices of
So
everything to come. Waiting for the prices of everything to come down so that we can actually use some of these cool tools for normal work.
and it will eventually when this kind of tech is like average consumer level and just more widely adopted, and as it gets better and smaller and lighter weight and easier to access and all of the above, I think that'll absolutely happen. We're kind of I know it feels like we're all holding our breath, but there are some pretty amazing advancements happening out there. Even just seeing
the
what was
Quest 3 is
possible with
coming
the
out.
Quest 2, Jay, what you shared, or Quest 3, sorry, what you shared, Jay, was really impressive to me. The stuff with pass through, that was cool.
Yeah, the price is coming down on those a bit now as well, I saw. So, I think those are like next step of like the tech out there, and they're a little bit lighter too. They're not like super light, but they're a little bit lighter and they're a little bit thinner. So I think that's kind of like key for some people to regularly pick them up and use them a lot. And like I never used my pass through at all, my Quest 2, because it was just so blurry and ugly, really. But this
Yeah, it's
Quest
not
3 though,
pleasant.
I can you, like look through, and like you can. It's kind of like an AR headset, almost in a sense. So like you can see your surroundings, and I've been using like the pass through a lot more for things like fitness apps and things like that. Like I mean, it feels a lot more comfortable, and then also like for some games too, like people that don't want to just like, for example, I play both though. I play like VR games as well as like AR, so there's kind of a place for both. But I think that the Quest 3 has kind of opened up like an extra like option. I think it gives you both options really, so it's really like a cool like step forward with like you have now a VR headset and almost like basically an AR headset in one, so you can use both options if you choose, or you want to make an app for both, or I mean for one or the other rather. Not, I think it's probably impossible to make it for both, but one or the other. You make an AR app and publish it to your Quest 3 headset, or a VR app as well, and do both if you wanted to, or have the skills to. So anyway, I mean, I think that part of the term tipping point a lot, like more recently, I think you've probably heard the term tipping point before, like with technology, is it's like you're like where things are accepted like as a standard, or I mean, not maybe a standard is not the right word, but like I don't know, like more accepted as like a normal usage kind of thing. So you can like this.
Part of
I've been
daily
hearing a lot of
life.
that a lot more in the industry. It's like we reach a tipping point with this stuff now, and I actually know a lot of companies that are out there, and like for training, I would say training is probably the biggest like use for these. And specifically like what you showed in that AR app, like a lot of like industrial kind of uses, and technology kind of training, and medical as well. Or those are kind of like the three big ones. So
yeah, medical is
I'm
doing a
thinking
lot in that space, for sure.
Yeah, and they have a lot of money to put towards these as well, So
yeah,
That's
that's
true.
really what it comes down to, isn't it? If it weren't so expensive, there would be a lot more people using it. Hey, listen, folks, I
Totally.
have to run. Unfortunately, I would love to stay and chat longer, but thank you, Tristia, and for putting this together. And it was good to see you, Jay, and also hi to Blessing, because she's in here too. So we're grateful that she stayed up till 1:42 a.m. to join us
Oh my
in this
goodness.
meetup.
Hi, Blessing.
Yeah. So I'm going to jam. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by.
Well,
Bye, Kimberly. Yeah, I guess it's time to wrap it up. I'll get links and everything posted on Slack shortly. And you guys can go ahead and check out Scope AR and WorkLink on your own. And all of the demos that they've got in there. There's a ton, as you saw on the list. And yeah, I'll get links up. And thank you guys for joining again. And yeah, if I guess we'll see you next month.
And thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Very good. A lot of information that sort through here, and hopefully I can make it to one of the conferences. I do like to attend like some of the monthly conferences that are like affiliated with those groups you mentioned, like VRAR. Sometimes I'll like it's like $15 for some like I don't know, they do like events every like quarter sometimes on different topics. Like I don't know, one was industrial, or it was something like training, I think it was, and then another one's for education. They'll do like quarterly kind of events. So sometimes I'll jump into those and attend those, and then also like AWE is they do like monthly events too. Apparently, like I guess they call them nights though. AWE nights, the ones like kind of affiliated with the Chicago group I go to. Usually every month. It's not like every month, but I try to make it as often as I can to those ones as well. So AWE is like, I never made it to any of the conferences, but it'd be cool if they are able to do that as well. But for now, I mean, the local ones are fun to go to as well, and these virtual ones as well. So like, yeah, thanks for sharing it. Again, thanks for sharing,
happy to. I know Kristen's been to AWE once or twice or a couple times. And she might have more to share about like what their conference is like. And Myra Roldan I think went to CES and did a cool recap of that earlier this year. So there are definitely other people in the group that have been to some of those and have posted about it or blogged about it. Yeah. There's a lot of online stuff out there to check out too if you can't make stuff in person. So it's always nice. You just gotta kind of like pick through and decide what's worth it for you. Like what are you most interested in, and like kind of try to focus your time on that because there's just so much out there.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, it was good to have it all presented tonight, and appreciate all your information you shared again. So
cool. Yeah, thank you. Happy to.
Thanks.
I think we'll have some different folks presenting next month. So I'm kind of talking to one of our members about getting someone else in to share for next month. And you mentioned sharing in one of the future months. So it should be some good stuff coming up.
Yeah. A lot of cool tools to use out there. So
for sure.
Talk to you next time here.
All right. Bye guys. Have a great month. See you next time.